Welcome back to the Daily Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Woods, here as usual with Daily Thunder beat writer Brandon Rahbar. Brandon, how are you?
Hey, I am good. Conflicted once again by this Thunder team winning a game by 1 point over the Pelicans. I don't know how to feel. Honestly, it's exciting and irritating all at once.
The buzzer sounded and the team kind of went crazy. The team kind of looked like they had won like a late season game, and it felt important to them. So for the night, we'll pretend it's important to us. How about that?
I agree. And, I like all these guys so much, and they're young guys, and they want to win. So it's exciting to see them win. Long term, these winning habits, these winning plays down the stretch, whether it be Dort suffocating defense on Brandon Ingram, or Shai hitting 3 clutch free throws, or Bazley single-handedly getting the Thunder on top to begin the second half. These all help the core, and you want that. So that's a good thing. Is it going to hurt the draft stock next year? Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to 1 or 2 games, getting a top 3 pick or getting the number 8 pick, that's going to be a bummer. But for tonight, we're having fun.
And I'm going to go back to a tweet of yours. It was right after the game. You ended by saying you had listed some things and said, this is why I say this team currently constructed is too good to properly tank. On nights like tonight, it's hard not to buy into that. They do look sound, and we'll get into the second unit, but they had a great night. And when the second unit on this team is going to have nights like this where they put up positive numbers, it's going to be a close game. The starters are just too good. It'll be interesting to see how they go from here, because if that second unit continues to get better, they might have to go to like strictly Diallo at point guard to offset everything else that's going on.
Yeah, and Dagnall gave extended minutes to Diallo and Kenrich Williams to, like in the fourth quarter. I was like, he's kind of like secretly tanking right here. Like that's a stealth tank move. But he put in the starters, I think, with like 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth. I was like, nope, they're going to try to win. And that's the thing. The coaches are going to try to win. The players are going to try to win. And I'm happy for the coaches, and I'm happy for the players. But would I've been a little bit happier had, the Thunder lost by 1, but the core still looked great and made great winning plays? Maybe. But, yeah, going back to what you said in my tweet, I know a lot of people are thinking, but when they start playing all these contending teams, they're going to pick up a lot of losses. That's true. But they also haven't played any bad teams either. They're going to pick up wins that you don't want them to pick up against the teams you're actually competing against for a top pick. And that's kind of the worry. OKC's 3 wins have come against teams who are combined 13-11. That's a good record. They've beaten good teams. And their 4 losses were all against playoff teams. They've avenged 2 of those 4 losses. They're 3-1 on the road. What happens when this team plays the Cavs and the Knicks and the Pistons and those type of teams?
I'm glad you mentioned the Knicks, because they are 5-3.
Right,
and they are our next opponent on Friday night, so I'm excited about that. We're at the Garden. The advanced numbers on this team, on this Thunder team, bear out a bad team, a bottom feeder team. So I'm with you. I think the more they get into this tougher stretch of the schedule, which if you've looked at the schedule, I know you have, but Thunder fans, if you've looked at the schedule coming up, it is a gauntlet for a team like Oklahoma City. The next month and a half are very few nights where you can look at it and say they should be competitive. Probably headed into a very, very tough stretch. So I think those losses are going to come, given that it's just the offense goes away for big stretches in these games. So it's going to be tough for them to score, especially against the opponents that they're about to see.
They're going to pick up a lot of losses. And again, they're not a playoff team. They're a lottery team. There's such a huge difference between being a bottom 3 team and the draft pick you get there, and being like the 10th worst team and the draft pick you get at that point. It's just such a one's an elite Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs type of guy, and the other's a really strong role player. Maybe you hit the jackpot and you get a stud. but it's just such a vast difference, and it's such a critical piece for the Thunder's future for the next decade. All that said, they're still 3-4. It's so early. They're going to pick up a lot of losses. And honestly, the tough schedule coming up over the next month is coming at a great time because kind of treading water until George Hill eventually gets traded. Maybe Mike Muscala gets traded. So maybe it's a good thing that all these tough teams are going to come, pick up some losses. Then you trade away George Hill and Muscala when you're playing the Grizzlies and the Spurs and the Timberwolves, right?
Absolutely. And I know there are fans listening to us saying Brandon and Ryan are such downers. They come on here after wins and they complain and they moan. So we're going to switch gears a little bit because there were some really positive things to come out of this game, even especially the win, if that's the kind of thing you're into right now. Number one, Bazley, his outside shooting and his confidence getting into the lane. Brandon Ingram, no problem. He did some really, really, really good things tonight, including, 11 straight points to start the second half?
Yeah, he went on a personal 11-0 run. Like, he outscored the Pelicans by himself 11-0. And then in the first 4 minutes of that third quarter, he scored 15 points. I mean, he looked ridiculous. It was amazing, and he was doing it on both sides. I mean, it was just one of the best personal runs from any Thunder player we've seen, and we've seen some amazing runs from the likes of KD, Russ, and Harden and those guys. He was just absurd for a few minutes there.
Yeah. I want to mention Dort. His defensive play on Ingram on that last possession was stellar. They had a play designed for Ingram to kind of get isolated over there on the right side, and Dort pretty much shut it down by himself and forced them to go elsewhere. Okay, Shai had a third quarter that it was so clear, like he elevated to the best player on the floor for about 6 minutes straight there. He set the table there for Bazley to open the quarter, but the way that he controlled the offense over the next 6 to 7 minutes was really special, really mature, and felt like a real vet out there putting his imprint on the game. Then in the fourth, when the game looked like it was kind of headed New Orleans' way, he has a drive and kick to a George Hill three. Next, then a rebound, drive and kick to an Al Horford three. Then a steal on Adams, and then down for the, in miraculous fashion, a continuation foul for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It never happens. He gets fouled. He takes those next two long steps that take a little longer than most, and he gets the layup and the foul. So that was 9 straight he accounted for. Missed a shot after that on the baseline. Then puts a dirty move on Lonzo Ball, gets him up in the air, gets fouled, and like another legendary Thunder point guard before him, hit 3 clutch free throws late in the game that were huge. That ended up putting him up by 1 at that point, and he didn't have anything to do with George Hill's last 2 free throws, but a really, really strong game, especially in the second half from Shai. That was a lot, but I loved everything I saw from Shai tonight.
The exciting thing about tonight was the Thunder young core, Shai, Dort, and Bazley. They all had moments of domination where they looked brilliant, and that's exciting, more so than the win. The win's exciting, and I'm happy for the team. You know, we talked about being downers. I am happy about getting any wins because it's exciting. But Shai, sharing the floor with Zion and Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and like you said, he was the best player on the floor, a nice stretch, and completely controlled the game. And I feel so bad. Shai should have had a double-double in almost every single game now. He is making so many great passes. He's drawing and kicking. He's getting the double team. He's always making the right read. And it just seems like more so with him than anybody else, guys miss off of his passes that lead to wide open shots for some reason. Yeah. But he's looked great. His outside shot hasn't been falling. He had a couple faults tonight. The percentage isn't great. But besides that, he's really looked good this season, very good. Mm-hmm. And tonight, he had another night where he looked like a rising star. Now, some people may have expected, because we've kind of been spoiled with MVPs and all-stars just continuously for the past decade. That's just what the Thunder do. And so I think that the thought of Chris Paul passing the torch to Shai, and now Shai's got the keys, I think everybody kind of came in with the expectation of like, 30 points a night, double-doubles every night, can be an all-star this year. It's not that. I think he's going to keep improving and keep getting better, and I see an all-star game or multiple all-stars in his future, but it's not about that. What's happening is he's been the main guy on a team that's supposed to be tanking and bottoming out. He's getting all kinds of attention, and this team is 3-4, and they've been competitive in every single game except for 2 games, and that's with him driving the bus now and leading the team, and they look pretty good given the circumstances, and that's a testament to Shai. I think he's been great this year.
Yeah, he's definitely taken a level up. I know that Horford and Hill are serving that veteran role, but it does feel like Shai has taken such a leadership role this year with this team, which is very exciting to see. We saw a very interesting lineup of Shai, Maledon, Hill, Dort, and Horford. I guess we were Bazley, except for like minus Horford plus Bazley, away from a really fun lineup. But that was an interesting look with 4 guards and Horford. And mainly the thing I'm excited about most is minutes with Shai and Maledon together.
Maledon has looked really good, especially considering he was a second-round rookie and expectations coming in, and he's been exciting. And I like the idea because they're both combo guards. Maledon can play the 1 and 2. Shai can play the 1 and 2. They can both handle. They can both shoot. There's a lot of options there. He is going to be the backup of the future. He's the backup point guard right now, and I think that's his role moving forward. But he could become that 6 man off of the bench type player and play with the starters like we saw Schroeder do. I'm not saying he's going to become as good as Schroeder. That's not what I'm saying, but I think he's got that kind of potential to be that kind of player. I think ultimately the Thunder get a guy like Cade or Suggs to go along with Shai, but maybe get a 3-point guard or a 3-guard lineup like the Thunder rolled out last year. There's a lot of potential with these young guys, what you can do with the likes of Maledon and Dort and Shai and whoever they get in this draft.
Yeah. You keep talking about a top 3 pick. I just feel like we need to acknowledge Oklahoma City is tied for 7th place in the West. They are a half game out of 5th, and they are 1 game out of 4th. So I don't know what you're talking about, top 3 pick. I think we're fighting for bigger and better things.
I'm telling everybody, nobody believes me. This team, as currently constructed, is too good to tank properly. That's a testament and a compliment to the players and the development and the coaches and Sam Presti for even when he tries to bottom out, he can't help but to put a decent team out there. It's impressive. They're going to pick up losses. They're not going to be a playoff team, but man, they got to trade a couple guys if they truly want to get a top pick.
The solution is, if we really want a top pick, it's me, you, Olivia, Cray, and John. We've got to suit up. We've got to go get fitted for our jersey, and we've got to suit up. We've got to get minutes.
I thought you were going to say like a few of us and then Shai and Bazley or Shai and Dort just to make it somewhat realistic. I love that you give so much credit to all those guys. Even with us, just putting Shai and Dort out there, it doesn't guarantee a top 3 pick. They're too good.
Well, and the fact is, I'm not worthy to be on the floor with those guys. I'm just not. That is Oklahoma City versus New Orleans. Steven Adams, round 2. He had a triple-double tonight. Good on him. First one of his career comes against his former team. We'll wrap it there. Oklahoma City's back at it on Friday night at friendly 6:30 Central Time, 6:30 local, from Madison Square. And we will talk to you guys after that game. Brandon, thanks so much, man.
Absolutely. Have a good night, Ryan.